Welcome back. In our previous video, we focused on the disciplinary process that has to be followed when a disciplinary meeting is constituted to deal with an issue of misconduct or alleged misconduct against a learner. In this video, we are going to focus on the appeal process and our responsibilities towards a learner where the HOD has been asked to make a determination whether the learner is to be suspended or expelled. So let's look at the process when a recommendation is forthcoming from the governing body to expel a learner. When a governing body recommends to the head of department that the learner be expelled, the parent of the learner must be notified in writing of the decision of the governing body. Where a governing body suspends a learner from attending school with a recommendation of expulsion to the head of department, the governing body must direct the principal to submit to the head of department within 3 school days the following. 1. The minutes of meetings at which the decision was taken. 2. Any written representation submitted by the learner or the parents of the learner or the representative of the learner. And 3. The full record of the proceedings by the disciplinary committee of the governing body. Pending a decision by the head of department, the governing body may suspend or extend the suspension of a learner for a period no longer than 14 days. The head of department, on the other hand, must consider the recommendation by the governing body and must decide whether or not to expel a learner within 14 days of receiving such a recommendation. If the head of department decides to expel the learner, the HOD may, after consultation with the governing body, impose a suitable sanction on the learner which must be implemented by the governing body. If the department decides not to impose a sanction on the learner, the HOD must refer the matter back to the governing body for an alternate sanction in terms of the school's code of conduct as contemplated in Section 8 of the South African Schools Act. The governing body and parents of the learner must be notified immediately in writing of the decision of the head of department with good cause shown. If the head of department or head of education expels a learner, the notice contemplated in the regulations must include a reference to the right of appeal to the MEC of Education. So let's have a look at the appeal process. A learner who has been expelled from a school or the parents of such a learner may appeal against the decision of the head of department of education to the MEC of Education within 14 days of receiving the notice of expulsion. A copy of the notice of appeal contemplated in the regulations must also be served on the office of the head of department and the chairperson of the governing body. If an appeal in terms of the regulations by a learner who has been expelled from a school is upheld by the MEC must ensure that a suitable sanction is imposed on the learner within 14 days of the date on which the appeal was upheld. For the purposes of the imposition of a suitable sanction as contemplated in the regulations, the provisions of regulations 8, 4 and 5 apply with changes required by the context. So, what do we do if a learner has been recommended for expulsion and access to education? If a learner who is subject to compulsory attendance in terms of Section 3 of the Schools Act is expelled from a school, the head of department must make an alternate arrangement for his or her placement at a school. If a learner who is not subject to compulsory attendance is expelled from a school, the parents of the learner may make alternate arrangements for his or her placement at a school and may request the assistance of the district director or regional director. If a learner has appealed in the manner contemplated in the regulations, such learner must, pending the outcome of the appeal, be given access to education in a manner determined by the head of department after consultation with the principal of the school. In determining an alternate arrangement for placement or the manner of access to education, the head of department must take reasonable measures to protect the rights of other learners at the school and may consider an alternate method of providing education to the learner as contemplated in the regulations. These may include ensuring that the learner is admitted to another school within the province, requiring the learner to attend counselling at district level with specialised learner and educator support, or the school psychologist or school social worker support, and alternately request regular progress reports in respect of the counselling that was contemplated from the relevant support component. Any learner who is expelled from a school during the last term of that year must be afforded the opportunity to write the final exams of the year in which he or she was expelled, provided that such learner may be requested by the principal of the school to write the examination in a venue separate from the learners of the school which he or she attended at the time of his or her expulsion. This brings us to the end of this video and the series dealing with learner discipline. In our next video and next topic, we will be dealing with the school as an employer. We hope to see you soon. Goodbye.